Hello everyone, we're back again for the last race of the season. We are at Abu Dhabi, 14 lap race. I'll be right back. Just going to let everyone rejoin this lobby. I had to restart the stream due to technical difficulties, which is barely a surprise given how buggy this game is. But as I said before, I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back for the second race, the final race of Division 3, and I think the final race in Rapid Racing League for Australia anyway. I'm not sure if Europe has any more races coming up, but as far as I'm concerned, this is it for the year. Hope you've all been enjoying the commentary from all of us. I do want to personally thank Pajala, Hendo, Warno, Kahoot, Noodles, all of them for, still having me in here despite how kind of probably a bit of a handful I can be at times. Thank you for letting me commentate. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. It's been absolutely wonderful to do that. So, yeah, thank you all once again. Apparently we're not streaming. We are actually. Okay, our minder didn't say didn't. Oh, hang on. Yes, no, we are. What seat can you have? Just depends. It's hard to say. What spare seats would we have? We had Alpine. So I'll go and advert there. Stupid Twitch adverts, they are unskippable and are unbearably long. Even if you have Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime, it's the same thing. I mean, who cares really? I actually had Amazon Prime for a while, but I haven't ended up needing to use it for the last 3 months, so I just stopped subscribing to it. So much the poor widow Jeff Bezos, the poor multi-billionaire, probably like, oh, I'm okay, the cat's wanting to run out. The poor triple billionaire, whatever he is, wants to finally... What are you doing? That's my goddamn cat. Can you get out of my room? What are you doing? It's a little black cat that we have that is really hyperactive. I do apologize for that. It's actually quite adorable, actually. Yeah, Flunky will take the second Alpine off the back of both Alpine drivers not appearing tonight, Coco and Goffey, the usual Alpine regulars. I'm guessing, given how close it is to Christmas celebrations, many people are on tonight, but many people are out celebrating earlier on, probably to have a quiet Christmas day, and I can't blame people for doing that, to be honest. Me personally, well, celebrations start on the 24th. I've got something on the 24th, the 25th, maybe on the 26th, but I know the 27th absolutely. I don't know beyond that. And New Year's might happen. I think it is happening. But we are definitely... There's something happening in this household for New Year's. But yeah, I won't be back until next year for commentary. I will probably be doing Div 3 once again, but it's not my choice in the matter. The other guys in the commentary team and basically the guys who run this whole thing, they might find someone else a bit better. It's completely up to them. I'm not fussed. If they find another person who is more capable and is better at describing what's going on track than I am, I've got no problem with that. I'm just thankful for the opportunity I've been given. So see JDM joining session. So that's plenty of people who've joined us. Hunter Hardwidge, if he doesn't join, that leaves a free Red Bull seat. cat who was running around like a madman finally leaves my room. Now if I can now shut my door. Alright. Alright, 17 people in. Most people, and there are people who are absent, but maybe they're just not wanting to do another race or something. Maybe they've just come for the one race. Just waiting on everyone. We're seeing 16 people join us for this event. Anyone else joining mid might cause technical issues because this game did not pass early primary school math, apparently. But that's fine. We'll start with what we've got. So the final race, the final qualifying session in Division 3, Season 1, is underway. The Constructors have largely been wrapped up. Aston Martin has won the Constructors for Division 3 in Season 1, and Greenie from Haas is your Drivers' Champion for Division 3. So without further ado, we now just wait for the session to start. The track is dry, as it typically is in the Middle East. It does rain in the Middle East, but not all the time, very rarely, and it's just typically very arid and dry over there. It's fascinating. I do want to go there at some point in my life, just because I just find it rather interesting. Abu Dhabi comes off as a very interesting state. So does Bahrain and Qatar, to be fair. But unfortunately for a lot of us, when we go into Europe, we have to stop over there, and I guess it's only a stopover destination, so it's not considered a full, proper tourist destination to some degree. I mean, maybe it is, and maybe I'm just naive in that regard, but I've always known from when people have gone into Europe, they've used that as a stopover destination. Because, of course, when you're flying halfway across the globe, you've got to stop somewhere. You've got to stop at the middle point or near the middle point, and often, from Australia to Europe, the middle point is the Middle East. 17 seconds till the end of qualifying. We're not quite sure who's on pole. Pole has often been rather unpredictable. The only consistent variable is that McLaren is always usually up in the top 3. It's always been the case since my commentary. Very regularly they have been up there, both in qualifying and in the race. Very consistent performances from the two McLarens. As we see AMG Hamilton first out on track in the Alpine. Best livery of F1 2021. The Alpine A521. Absolutely stunning car. And it punched above its weight. It was an underdog car. And for that reason, it has my heart. It's my favourite car of the season. I would have liked the Aston Martin a little more, had it not been so rubbish, but had it not been so far back from the midfield, like from 3rd to 6th, all fighting regularly amongst each other. But, you know, it is what it is. Plus, if the Aston Martin had a bit more of that British racing green, or even the Saudi green that they had when they had the Aston Martin DBX medical car and the V8 and the Vantage or safety car out, they had that in like a Saudi green, and that looked better than the Aston Martin's British racing green. So maybe if they do a proper British racing green for the Aston Martins instead of whatever they did for the 2021 season, maybe the car might look a little more appealing. Of course, there's speculation. We've got new regulations next year. Cars are going to feel quite a bit different. It's the last of these cars in particular, the cars that largely got me back into F1, because the 2019 and 2020 cars are quite different from each other to varying degrees, but 2020 and 2021 largely remain quite similar. So most of my F1 experiences in this last decade have been these cars. And of course, they're the same engines and same gearboxes, but fundamentally different aerodynamics. habits and fundamentally different philosophies to how they drive. And as a result, I'll miss that. I'll miss these cars. And I hope that the new regulations are interesting, as we see AMG Hamilton and Greeny doing what I did with Crew to Karma and kind of getting in the way there. Except the difference is that these two have not tried to crash into each other afterwards, and they very likely will finish the race. So good on them, those two there, for admitting that, well, for at least keeping out of each other's way after getting a bit close there and not causing any other accidents. As Bremer comes out of the pits just a bit close between this two, they're acting like they're racing, as Greeny actually invalidates his lap. So Greeny's going to have to go a bit slow there, and AMG Hamilton will be the first one to set a timed lap, provided he doesn't invalidate his lap. So we're going to go on board with him. We're going to go on board with him on the first of the two-part back straight. Very fast part of the track here. Very much dominated by DRS passes and people braver on the brakes than others. We've very much seen that as War Machine retires from session. I suspect he's crashed out. And that is a surprisingly easy part of the track to crash out on. I crashed out there last night in Div 1. And I had a solid race up until that point. I was gutted that I crashed. Not gutted because I crashed, but gutted because I was in a good position and I was actually having fun. Because, particularly with this format, I feel like you can have a lot more fun and there's less of a time investment you got to put into these races week on week. And I know that I'm in a minority opinion when it comes to the guys who run this league, but I do feel like we should incorporate more 25% races into this just to bring a bit more bite-sized entertainment into this, or at least it should be the case for Division 3. So it follows like an F3 but with F1 cars sort of thing. So we have shorter races. We got to prove who's quick, because that's basically how I got into Div 1. I was quick in the shorter race formats. As AMG Hamilton sets a 1:36.5. My reference time here, my best time I set here, in fact, was a 1:35.4. Or no, it was a 1:35.6. Sorry. So it's 9/10ths quicker, and that was good enough for P7 in Div 1. So we're going to be super interested. And I'm sure people watching this will be super interested to see how Div 3 compares to Div 1, considering the fastest time set so far by a guy who's typically been top 5 since he started is set at 1:36.5. I'm very curious to see what Edmo sets, but Urban Growth has set a 1:38.6, so plenty of time there to gain for the Aston Martin, as we're on board with Bremer, currently going over 300 kilometers per hour in 8th gear. It's going a bit too close there. Fun fact, the straight there curves off from being a straight because there's a bloody car park there, if you want to know what their priorities are. As Bremer does what I did actually a couple times in a race, goes a bit wide there. Car's not fully committed to that and has to correct and oversteer there. As Rango Killer sets the second fastest time of a 1:38.4. So AMG Hamilton has set a blistering time and is going to celebrate by mowing the lawns for us. So thanks for that, much appreciated. It's a lucrative job and it's a very exhausting job, very strenuous on the back. So that is very much appreciated. There's not much grass on this track actually, so I mean, might not be too bad on the back. So we see Bremer using the absolute maximum of the track there to set a time there, just barely keeping it within track limits, but is able to do it, and Hamilton actually spins out there and damages his front wing. We're going to see what Bremer sets. Bremer sets a 1:37.1, so much closer to AMG Hamilton's benchmark 1:36.5 than Rango Killer and Urban Growth, I can say that much. So we're now on board with AMG Bottas, who's currently out on a hot lap. There are plenty of cars behind him setting hot laps. We've got Greeny on board with us now. Let's see what time he sets. He sets a 1:38.1, 1 second behind Bremer. So Bremer's time's looking mighty compared to Greeny even. As we see RNG Salty running super wide through there. Not quite sure what happened there. As we see AMG Bottas spinning in solidarity there. So plenty of spins in the Turn 1, Turn 2 complex. Oh, and that got a bit close there between the two AMG drivers. So we've seen CBF and AMG. We haven't seen a CBF driver in a little while though, but I guess that's because they've all been pushed up into Div 2 and Div 1. They've both been pretty quick. The CBF guys, I think they're about 3 or 4 strong, have typically been pretty bloody quick. And been very aggressive drivers. In a good way, in my eyes, because me and Betsy have had some good races, good close wheel-to-wheel action together in Brazil and in Abu Dhabi for good measure, and even Australia to a slightly lesser extent. As Edmo runs way off into the pit lane for some reason, as Bottas and him getting a bit close there. I don't know what's going on there between Edmo and Bottas. That was a bit dodgy if you ask me. If Bottas thought he was going to pull a sneaky there by intimidating Edmo and ruining his outlap, then thought otherwise, mate, because I just caught that. As Mad Dog sets the slowest time currently of a 1:39.1, 1 second behind Urban Growth, and a further 2 seconds behind Bremer. So a wide brevity of times that have been set so far in the session with 10.5 minutes left to go. As Flunky rejoins the session, having stayed in the pit lane. He is currently running in the Alpine this weekend. Typically, I believe he runs in the Williams. I might get that wrong actually, but he does run in Div 2 in the Williams, I'm pretty sure. Got plenty of cars hanging back out on track. Edmo. Oh, and Bottas goes for a massive spin there. And Edmo gets ahead of him there. So poor old Bottas bends going into that turn 1, turn 2 complex and has no front wing. So we're going to see if he keeps the respect there, as I think Perks was on an outlap, thankfully. So he's going to have to somehow get ahead of AMG Bottas. AMG Bottas is not giving him room to get out of the way there. Bottas get out of the way. Bottas might finally get out of the way. As we'll see, it's your boy here with a 1:38.0 on the medium tyre. So that's a pretty good time, actually. Pretty good, decent time on the medium tyre. Mad Dog goes 7/10 up in the second sector. Mad Dog might improve quite considerably here, as JDM also set a time of 1:39.1, so Mad Dog and JDM are reasonably super even, basically, between each other. JDM is still lagging like crazy. Let's see what Mad Dog sets. He sets a smooth final exit there, and he goes 1.1 seconds quicker to set his time of a 1:37.9. So that's a very good lap there from Mad Dog. He keeps it within track limits on that in lap to celebrate. Now on board with RNG Salty going through the third sector. Let's see what his time is. Paramount to the rest of the field. A bit hesitant going into that final corner there. Not much confidence through there, but his time is still good enough for a 1:37.9. Very quick there. And Edmo goes even quicker there. He sets a 1:35.6. Edmo, mate, you Div 1 pace. I'm sorry, but you've just matched my time in quali. That time, a 1:35.6, was good enough for P7. So sorry, mate, after you go to Div 1, after this season, you are rapid. You are proper rapid. As Rapid Hendo goes P10, currently with a 1:35.8. Jala also set a time, as did I'm a Bird, with a 1:39.1 and a 1:39.2 respectively between those two. Let's see what JDM can do to improve his time. He was up 4/10 in the second sector. He's got to go through these surprisingly tricky, but you've got to be really confident in these last two corners here. What is his time? His time's of 1:38.5. Doesn't gain any positions. Sorry, he does gain positions, but only just on the cusp of P10 there. With Hendo less than a tenth behind him, but Hendo is gaining. Hendo's gained a tenth in Sector 1, and of course that's a very fine margin, but the Sector 1 part of the track is has a very narrow window of times. Often everyone in the field is really close to each other because you're taking similar lines. All it comes down to is just setup philosophy doesn't really matter much through there, as he's down 0.2 of a second actually going into Sector 2, so maybe he's applying more aero than everyone else around him. See Mad Dog still 5th fastest. Urban Growth with P4 having set a 1:37.268. Bremer is exactly 1/10 ahead of him, actually, so that's a fascinating little statistic right there. It's a boy here goes off into the pit lane and tries to emulate the current track layout, which hasn't been updated in this game. Yeah, thanks Codemasters for not updating Spain or Abu Dhabi. We do appreciate you adding Portugal, Imola, and Jeddah. As Perks goes 2nd fastest with a 1:36.2. So Perks is even showing shades of Div 1 and even mid-high and Div 2 pace, if I say so myself. As Flunky leaves the session, having not set a time, I suspect he might be having technical issues. So the only people not set at times are AMG Bottas and Cubistic Flunky. With War Machine out early from a crash. Yellow flag in Sector 3, it is an Aston Martin. It is likely it's your boy here. Did he hit that wall, I wonder? We've had people hit that wall before. So, In the last qualifying session of Division 3, it is once again a McLaren 1-2, with an Alpine nipping behind them in P3. MG Hamilton's got quite a bit of time to gain if he wants to catch up, as Armour Bird's there spinning. He's spun there. It's actually a surprisingly easy part of the track to lose stability and lose balance and therefore spin. But I'm super curious as to what time AMG Hamilton can set. Let's see what his Sector 2 time is. He's down 2/10. So he might be banking it all on Sector 3, which is by far the trickiest part of this track to nail. My time, I could have gotten into the low 135s had it not been for my abysmal Sector 3 performance compared to the rest of the field. I noticed my P7 was off the back of Sector 1 and Sector 2. Sector 2 primarily, because I seem to have a lot of straight line speed. Then my wings were 8, I think they were 8.10 there? Not sure, I actually can't remember. Yeah, go the Alpines, exactly. Glad to see you tune in, Goffy. Hope you're doing well. Hope to see you back in the next division, in the next season of Div 3. Good to see you back. Most cars are in the pits right now. We've got Bremer mowing the lawn for us. Greeny currently slower by a notable amount in Sector 2. Let's hope he makes it up. Now, man, go Red Bull. Fortunately, the Red Bulls have kind of been a bit of a no-show. But unfortunately, MG Bottas hasn't set a time. Hunter Hardwidge has not returned after his last lap, last corner. Unfortunate retirement. Massively bad luck there. He's got the pace. It'll come together for him one day. Bremer has obviously invalidated. I'm guessing he will start a flying lap, provided he doesn't invalidate in this last corner, which is surprisingly easy to do. Also, I could have had pole here in Div 2, which was a bit of a weird feeling, but I guess it does show the gap between Div 2 and Div 1 isn't quite as close. Well, it is pretty close, because a top-end Div 2 driver can easily slot themselves into a points-paying position in Div 1, when the strategy is right, because, of course, Div 1 is more, in my eyes, Div 2 and 3 are more outright pace, whereas Div 1 is more strategy-orientated. Of course, that's not to deny how fast everyone is in Div 1. We're very quick in Div 1. But I've just noticed that strategies often, because it's a mixture of the strategies and being fast enough to make those strategies work. How did who go in Australia? Hardwidge. Hardwidge DNF'd. And I think Bottas got P8. I actually can't remember. Should have probably screenshotted that, but I unfortunately forgot to screenshot that. Stroker Race has joined, so there you go. We've got someone joining in mid-session. He might have to retire pretty early on, because this game can't count. He's got full 15 minutes, when the rest of the lobby has 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So, I mean, I love that this game can't count. And hopefully Stroker Race comes back in the Ferrari. Bremer's having an awful time on that pair of soft tyres. Perks is on his outlap. Edmo, let's see if he improves in Sector 1. He does, by 2/10. We're going to go on board with Edmo for the rest of this lap, because he's been absolutely flying in this lap. And hello Vorno. Hope you're doing well. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And Feliz Navidad, because I know the UK is pretty close to Spain. And, I don't know, I just wanted to say that. Edmo has been absolutely flying. I'm going to see what his Sector 2 time is. His Sector 2 time will be rather indicative if he's been able to improve and ultimately get into the low 135s, which would be absolutely ridiculous in Division 3. Considering the rest of the times we have, Perks is showing Div 2 pace, AMG Hamilton is showing Div 2 pace, but everyone else is about where they should be in terms of Div 3 times. And that's not to discount, I mean, obviously qualifying and race pace are two different things, because you've got to be consistent in the race pace. We forgot to check. Yeah, Edmo was up nearly 2/10 going into Sector 2. So if he nails this, he's going to get into the low 135s here. Nailed that apex. He's gone a bit wide there. These curbs are very unforgiving. If we have a Ferrari that's causing a yellow flag in Sector 1, he's mounted a sausage curb a little bit. I can't remember what it is. Is it an ollie in Tony Hawk? Anyway, it's gone just about a 10th quicker. Set a time good enough for P1. Obviously, still pole with a 135.5 at JDM. Currently P4 with a 136.9. Mighty lap there from JDM as Bremer is set and unfortunately invalidated once again. And going forward with Mad Dog here. He's shown promise so far in this session as Rapid Pajala retires having set the 14th fastest time with a 139.2. He has not improved from his first lap set. So he'll have free tyre choice. Yellow flag further down the field. Not sure what's going on there. Hendo's gained quite a bit in Sector 2. He's gained 6/10. We're going to attentively watch him. Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, no, it's going pretty good. Australia went pretty well. We had some slight technical issues with lag from JDM and Bremer. That was beyond their control, unfortunately. Hendo goes P7 with a 137.9. But yeah, the race went pretty good. And yeah, I was pretty happy with how that all turned out. As Hendo actually has enough time to actually start another lap if he wants. He crossed that quite nicely. But Perks has finished, as has Salty and Itty Boy here. Itty Boy here in a rather lowly P11. But he's on the full wets. So that might have something to do with it. So Salty, actually. They're both on the full wet tyres. So, oh, and JDM slams straight into the wall. Bremer is currently setting a hot lap. We're going to see what Bremer can do. Edmo is comfortably on pole, and I don't think anything will change that. As It's a Boy, he needs to get out of the way for Bremer, as Bremer is charging down the field. It's a Boy, he needs to move out of the way quick and fast. He's not moving out of the way. His AI is in fact not moving out of the way, and he invalidates, unfortunately, as a result of the AI. Or maybe him. So, unfortunately, but Bottas goes P2 with a 135.9. Out of nowhere, that Red Bull goes from no time set to setting a lap good enough for P2 in a singular lap. AMG Hamilton will not set a time. JDM is on an outlap apparently. It doesn't make sense. Bremer and AMG Hamilton have contact, bizarrely. That was very weird there from AMG Hamilton. I don't know why he did that. You think AMG Hamilton would have learnt from his the contact with I'm a Bird to get out of the way, but no, he squeezed Bremer a bit there. That's very weird. Yeah, I was going to say, Warner, I didn't want to say this was the final race of the year because I wasn't sure what the European side was doing, but I'm glad to know that there's still races going on tonight for Div 4 and Div 2. Hope those are good races, really hope they're good, because these races have been pretty fun to watch, pretty fun to commentate too so far. Greeny down in P13, the champion for Div 2. He's doing donuts. So, I'm gonna watch him do donuts. Or not. He sees that I'm watching him, and he's opted not to. We've got two cars in the pits. Stroker Race leaves the session, having not set a time. I think there's a bug. Yeah, I think we have a bug in the lobby. Gonna wait for someone to leave. Well, someone needs to leave the session because we're having technically... Oh, we've got Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz and Valtteri Bottas in with us apparently in P18, 19 and 20. So Div 3 absolutely outclassing Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz and Valtteri Bottas. Anyway, just something on Discord that's just made me laugh. Anyway, we go further down. There you go. So JDM's poor internet, unfortunately all too common in Australia, has delayed us the finishing of the session. Not his fault. Unfortunately, the internet in Australia is rather rubbish. As we see, time set here. Edmo sets pole once again with a 135.5. 3/10 down from him is AMG Bottas. Further down the field, we've got Perks in the second McLaren, AMG Hamilton, Dr. JDM, Bremer, Urban Growth, Mad Dog, Hendo, and Rango Killer. Those are your top 10. Further down the field, we've got RNG Salty. It's your boy here. The only one on the medium tyres, actually. That's rather interesting. Greeny, I'm a Bird, Pajala, War Machine, and Flunky. We also have Stroker Race, but Stroker Race did not set a time, nor did War Machine or Flunky, but Flunky wasn't even able to get into the session. He's had technical issues. So unfortunately for him, and AMG Hamilton has a 5-place grid penalty there, which is unfortunate, but this game, it just happens. This game is really harsh like that. You'll have penalties for small incidents. I saw what happened. I saw a little bit about what happened, but yeah. Now we're just waiting on people to ready up. I'll take screenshots of the quality results in case something else happens. So here we go. Last race of Division 3, the last race in Rapid Racing League Australia. It's underway. Of course, stay tuned. We've got Vorno commentating for Division 4 later on, and I believe Division 2. Can't confirm about Division 2. I'm not familiar. I'm not aware, but he is commentating tonight for the last races of the Rapid Racing League's calendar. So if you're up late, you want to watch you want to watch Vorno in his wonderful commentary, tune in. You'll get to hear him. Greeny's rejoined session. Just waiting on players. I don't know who we're waiting on. We're starting in 30 seconds. No formation lap. Just lights out and away we go. I'm going to take that from Crofty. I hope that's not trademarked. And if it is, well, suck eggs, Sky Sports. You're already a bit of a shit company anyway. I've got 2 empty drink cans. Great. Lights out. 5 lights. Final race of the season is underway. We've got a McLaren and a Red Bull in the front row. And we're off. Red Bull gets a nice start from what I'm seeing, although Edmo managed to get an even better start and sails away going into turn 1 once again. Keeping a comfy lead over AMG Bottas. We're seeing quite a bit of cars further back in the field. We're seeing 4 cars adrift there. We're seeing Alfa Romeo of Rango Killer. Oh, and we saw a Haas spin. It was I'm a Bird spinning. Rango Killer might have front wing damage. Difficult to say. No, he does not. I think he just got spun. Gains a place ahead of I'm a Bird. Hendo currently running in P15. Sandwich behind Flunky, who's in AI mode, and I believe War Machine in AI mode as well, although it appears that the game can't decide who's in what position and so on. We need the telemetry, and we need lap data. We need all that. Position changes. Hendo's lost 6 positions, and currently Pajala has gained the most. He's gained 4 positions since the start, and AMG Bottas and Perks are side by side. Oh, and there's contact between the two, but no damage. I think Bottas could have probably given Perks a little more room there, as Perks does a Sergio Perez and comes back down on the inside line and gets ahead of him before the braking zone. But they're side by side. Oh, and there's more contact, so they go through the chicane. Oh, and they hit each other again! They both just knocked each other out there, just from being a bit too aggressive with each other. I don't think there's any damage on either of their cars, but a bit of a bruised ego between those two because they've just lost a lot of positions and are now out of the points as a result. So now Edmo leads Urban Growth and AMG Hamilton. AMG Hamilton not far behind Urban Growth. looking likely to get ahead rather quickly on his softs, although he spins off and damages his car. He is out of the race. This could be a safety car. This could be a lap one. This is a VSC. Inconsistent decisions from the virtual stewards, apparently, because that's a virtual safety car, whereas in the real race, it was a full safety car. Was Michael Massey right? Was Michael Massey wrong? Sorry, should Hamilton have won that title? I'm not going to discuss that. Verstappen won that title pretty fair and square, in my opinion. Not from that race, but from his performances throughout the year in general. As we see Perks and Bottas dive into the pits, likely with small front wing damage. We're going to actually have a quick look and see. Yes, they both have front wing damage. Those two getting a little too close for each other's comfort and ultimately pushing each other a bit too hard there. We see JDM lagging like there's no tomorrow. His internet has... he's still connecting to America Online, apparently. His internet. So we have yellow flags in every sector now. Has this race actually glitched out in the second lap? That would be incredible if it did. As Flunky and Umberbird exchange places. We don't know if we can actually gain positions or not. We're going to have a quick look. Flunky has lagged out. Yeah, no, it's happened. The glitch has happened on the second friggin' lap of the race. So, GG everyone. Hendo has a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. We still have yellow flags in every sector. No, we're not restarting because, seriously, this is a bit ridiculous with the internet problems. I think JDM should just retire from session because I think a lot of it's happening on his end because he's down in P17. DRS has been enabled, but no one can take advantage of it. Got a virtual safety car. Finally, things are going back to normal a little bit. Seems we're okay now. We seem to be under green conditions once again. And we're back racing once again with Edmo with a 2.7 second gap. We had a brief scare there thinking that we might have to restart this race given how laggy and how weird it got there with yellow flags in every sector causing a glitch where no one could overtake. But fortunately things seem to be back under control after a brief virtual safety car. So Edmo leads Urban Growth, who leads Bremer. We have AMG Hamilton, who was retired from session. The only retirement this session so far. Further down the field, we've got Mad Dog, Salty, It's Your Boy here, Pajala, Greeny, War Machine, and Hendo. Those are your top 10. As War Machine clips the wall a little bit. That's awfully close for War Machine. He might have to pit, actually, as we see a Aston Martin in the pits. It is It's Your Boy here. Has he got front wing damage? We're going to have a quick look. As Mad Dog also pits. Yeah, he had to replace the front wing, so yeah, he definitely did have front wing damage, so bad race gone worse for him as yeah, F for SD. Race lobby's fine for me anyway. Oh, we've now got a safety car now. For what? Fuck me. Yeah, I just noticed yellow on the track. I don't know why a safety car was called. Yeah, Edmo currently leading, still on lap 5. I just had to deal with Discord stuff because people wanted to restart. As we have Botax and Perks once again colliding. So, not professional at all. But, you know, sadly, we're not restarting the race for that. We're not restarting the race for that. We might restart if things continue to get weird. We don't know how long the safety car is going to go for. If we can have some solid laps, we'll probably be able to continue. But, hard to say. JDM now has a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. He has been lagging all race long. Has not been able to race. And last now, as Bottas also has penalties, he's currently running down P14. And I'm a Bird is now currently running P3. I don't think he's pitted, actually. He's still running on the medium tyre as AMG and JDM collide. Don't know what happened there. That didn't look good at all. Does JDM have front wing damage? If he has front wing damage, then that looks a little guilty there on his part. We're going to see him slide on by. He has no front wing. That could have been a collision between JDM and AMG. So, not good. Not good at all from those guys. Kind of clowny, if I'm going to be honest. So, rather dramatic finale to this race, but unfortunately, it's been a result of some people who just couldn't get out of each other's way. We are not going to restart this race. This race will proceed as normal. This next safety car the safety car will probably be in next lap. And as it stands, we will likely continue to have normal racing once the safety car ends. We've had a very chaotic first few laps of this race. 5 laps have passed, and they've either been under, most of them have been under VSC or safety cars conditions, including that weird glitch that we had as I'm a Bird now pits. He was currently running P3. Spinal subscribe with Prime. Thank you for your subscription. On behalf of everyone at Rapid Racing League, I probably don't speak for everyone there, and people probably wouldn't want me to speak for everyone there, but thank you. Thank you for doing that. I understand how important that is for a Twitch channel in particular. I'm not terribly familiar with Twitch, but I do know that those are important. So thank you. Been a very dramatic race. Still under safety car conditions. I suspect we'll be out of safety car conditions once this all subsides. We have Edmo, Urban Growth, and Bremer in the top 3. Safety car is in this lap, very nice. So we'll be back under proper racing conditions at the end of this lap. So we're now going back under. The safety car will peel back into the pit lane. And we're back under racing conditions once again. Edmo pulls away very nicely from Urban Growth. Leads very comfortably there from Urban Growth. Still half a second, but no DRS. Bremer is catching up rather closely there to Urban Growth. Will he make a move? Urban Growth is currently under pressure from Bremer, who's just set the purple first sector there. So good effort there from Bremer. Got about half the race left to go. RNG Salty currently running P4. Comfortably in P4, if I might add. He's over a second in front of Mad Dog. Of course, it's going to be a bit of a tunnel, basically a bit of a train line through here, as all cars don't have DRS for another 2 laps. So very much chaotic on and off the track. Plenty of drama in the Discord. And yeah, I just find it funny because frankly a lot of people who get into fights with other people can't always crash out of races, but you know, it is what it is. Just noticed that. As we see Two Boy here run very deep there into the braking zone. They're nearly getting into the back of Rapid Hendo. And War Machine actually gets in front of I'm a Bird. Actually, that's interesting. Will he have to give the place back though? He will have to give the place back. I'm a Bird and War Machine have been battling quite a lot. Even in qualifying they've been battling, fascinatingly enough. Flunky, unfortunately, celebrating Christmas a little early. I mean, I know he wants to race tonight. He's wanted to. He's had tons of technical difficulties. But his Ghost is running last of the runners. The way that's going though, he could still finish in the points, as Edmo sets the fastest lap of a 1:38.7, so that is a ridiculously fast fastest lap. So see Edmo's lead increasing to 1.5 seconds. He has gained in Sector 1, so he's not gone purple. So Bremer must have had a ripper of a first sector for Edmo to gain 3/10 and still not be purple. There's a position change between Bremer and Urban Growth, actually. So I'm busy reading the Discord still, but I should be actually watching this quality race instead of watching children argue, because Urban Growth and Bremer are having a very good battle here for P2. Excellent stuff here between these two, as we're going through these awkward S's, and Mad Dog has left the session for some reason. He's currently running a really good P5. But Urban Growth did cut that corner a little bit there, and a rare error from Urban Growth, if I say so myself. You don't see him get track penalties. You probably do see him get warnings, but you almost never see him get track penalties, as Salty and Rapid Bajala have gained from Mad Dog's disconnect. Greeny currently running in P7. The Div 3 champion has got It's Your Boy here and Rapid Hendo for company, with Renko Killer lingering in the background there in the final points paying position, as Edmo sets the fastest lap once again with a 1:38.5. So wonderful stuff there. His gap's now 2.5 seconds in front of Bremer, who has another penalty and runs very wide going into turn 1, braking a little late, but has probably benefited massively going into this very, very weird section of track. Probably the most technical part of the entire circuit, if I say so myself, given the uphill and downhill sections, followed by a very long right-hander. So Urban Growth is catching up slowly though. The gap still within about a second, although he's lost a bit on that exit there. Maybe a little less stability on the rear end there. But he's got DRS anyway, but it's not going to be enough. Fortunately, there are 2 DRS zones in this 2-part back straight. Luckily for him, he has a second shot at gaining and retaking P2 from Bremer. If not here, maybe in the stewards with penalties. Maybe the penalties will rule in Urban Growth's favour once again, as he's maintained a clean race so far. Edmo still prancing the field up in front. He is 3.2 seconds. Mad Dog is now out of the points, but isn't too far behind. Actually, he's just lost a position to War Machine, actually, who's currently running P11. I'm a Bird running 10th. There's a position swap here between It's Your Boy here and Greeny, and Hendo's coming in to join the party as well, although Hendo loses out a little bit and loses a bit of time to Greeny. Wonderful sequence of moves there between Itzy Boy and Greeny. And now not much else has happened on track. Unfortunately, it's all died down. I mean, unfortunately with this track you can't really polish a turd. This track is kind of crap, but the new track layout with the banked corners at the end of like turn 4, 5 and turn 11 I think it is? Or turn 10? I'm actually not sure. I need to see the new track map. But Hendo and Greeny do exchange positions going into turn 1, and Greeny runs a little bit wide. Those hard tyres, not... For some reason he's running hards, and they're not really paying off, as sort of to be predicted, to be honest, because the hard tyres are not known to be of any benefit in 25% races. Usually you always go for the soft or medium tyres, even if you like, you know, you need a pit on lap 2, you just stick it out on the medium tyre, or you go mediums until like A, another safety car period, or B, till like the second last lap or something, and then go to softs and just wing those last few laps on the soft compound tyre. But Bremer and Urban Growth are once again super close. Urban Growth has DRS. He might make a pass here, but Bremer is weaving like a madman. He's weaving like a snake. But that's not enough for Bremer to keep P2. Urban Growth gets ahead in a wonderful move there, assisted by DRS. Stays ahead of him going through the S's, and keeps that second place with for company. Although Bremer is keeping him honest. One small mistake from Urban Growth, and he could lose that P2 once again. The gap is increased by quite a big margin, although the timing board machine broke. So, unfortunately, we do not have time for the top 3. We do not have the interval gaps, because this game, again, can't count. Pajala having a wonderful race. He's been the biggest mover of the field. He's gained 10 places since the start of this race, and he's running in a very comfy P5. So, fantastic effort there from the Pajala. Although, I've just commentator's curse kicks in, and he slides into the wall and damages his front wing. That could be a virtual safety car. That is the worst case of commentator's curse I have ever been a part of. If I don't get the Div 3 gig next season, that's probably why. So Bremer gets back past ahead of Urban Growth in a good move there. Sadly, Pajala has to pit. But now our biggest current net position gains have been Salty and Itzy Boy here, who are currently sitting in now P4 and P5. Excellent stuff there. I thought something way bad had happened to this goal, but I'm just getting called out for my commentator's curse. Oh man, what a meme. I hope that is a meme, to be honest, because Jesus, that was the worst timing possible. I mean, it probably hasn't been the first time I've given out commentator's curse, I'm going to be honest. Oh, Hendo spins! That wasn't commentator's curse. That was not, okay? That was just him spinning under his own power. I didn't say how well he was doing, so therefore, not a commentator's curse, although poor Hendo has got a penalty with him too. I'm a Bird doesn't have a penalty though. He's done really well to keep it in P8. Edmo leading by nearly 7 seconds now. There is nothing stopping Edmo currently running in P1. And Urban Growth gets ahead of Bremer. DRS assisted move. They're side by side. They don't bang wheels, and Urban Growth doesn't run way off into the track. He would have gotten a 2-second penalty if he did that, but apparently if you were racing an actual F1, you would have gotten away with no penalty for that. But Bremer does have DRS. Will Urban Growth squiggle around like a snake? We'll find out. Does he have the braking? Does he have the balls? Urban Growth runs him a little wide there. It's very difficult for cars to go two alongside there, but they've somehow managed to make it work. But Urban Growth keeps P2. I have not done it again, Flunky. I have not done it again. Bremo gains back P2 from Urban Growth after Urban Growth went a little wide there. RNG Salty having a very comfy P4 there as we see a Sector 3 yellow flag. That is Mad Dog spinning along with War Machine. They've both had contact. Is this a repeat of Bottas and Russell at Imola? It might be. They haven't crashed out of the race proper though, so that's interesting. Hendo has gained points positions back from that, although he's very slow out of that exit there, and Mad Dog could likely very much gain from that. Rango Killer with a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings. Running a solid race in P7. It's definitely shown promise. He's definitely here to stay, Rango Killer. Shown to be respectful for everyone around him. He's shown to be calm, and we've got all the time in the world for people who are just happy to have a go here. And more importantly, be respectful in close wheel-to-wheel battles, not ramming into people. All that sort of thing. There's a massive no-go there. Our retirees of the session are AMG Hamilton, who crashed in lap 2. Perks, who unfortunately had several incidents with Bottas. Bottas has been retired and also kicked out of the league, I think. His name doesn't pop up on the Discord anymore, so I think he actually has been outright kicked for his driving. It was very shocking driving standings there from AMG Bottas. JDM has retired from session. Unfortunately, Flunky's Ghost is still running dead last. He hasn't had tons of technical issues. No technical issues from Edmo though. Sets the fastest lap and starts the last lap of the race. Flying momentum, he is 12 seconds in front of everyone else. That is an absolutely dominant victory. Absolutely dominant display there from Edmo. Our commentator's curse will probably kick in again because it's still a last lap. This is invalid user, so... But, I mean, that is incredible. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. That is a Mercedes-Benz. It is the single running Mercedes-Benz. It is Mad Dog. And Pajala gained a penalty for multiple warnings. Unfortunately, the spin has cost him a very solid shot at points today. A spin through no fault of his own. Just happens these curbs are random lottery curbs. As Mad Dog retires from the session, maybe yellow flag in Sectors 1 and 2. Mad Dog has seemingly retired under his own power, fascinatingly enough. He's got front wing damage. He could have maybe stuck it out the way home, but unfortunately he's retired on the last lap. Hendo and Pajala are having a good battle here though. A quality scrap. Hendo has gone super wide there, and has got a penalty for just going super wide like that. That's weird. He doesn't even have DRS for good measure either, so Hendo's lost out massively from that. War Machine pits supposedly for a fastest lap attempt, but the lap starts now. So... But there was absolutely nothing stopping Edmo today, though. Edmo crosses the line to win the race. 12 seconds in front. It could be a bigger gap, actually, by the time we roll around, because Bremer does have penalties. And Urban Growth, currently running P3, will solidify his P2 in the championship. Bremer has 5 seconds from unsafe penalties, so that means Urban Growth takes P2, 14.3 seconds down from Edmo. So that's one of the biggest victory margins I've seen in Div 3 ever. RNG Salty takes a solitary third place. Wonderful third place from RNG Salty. Kept it calm, kept it collected. Gained 8 places to get that podium. Unfortunately for Bremer, his 5-second penalty just proved a bit too much and the cars were too close behind him, and unfortunately he's been booted out of the penalty of the podium places as a result. It's a boy here, 5th. Greeny 6th. I'm a Bird, solid in a wonderful performance there. Made up for 16th in the Australian Grand Prix. Renga Killer in P8. Pajala still gets points and does solitary donuts. Or does he get P9? Because they're busy doing donuts, these two. Why isn't the camera showing the donuts? Are they just... Oh, they're there in the far right of the corner. I can see Hendo anyway. Sorry fellas, you might have to move a bit left so we can actually see you. I just see Pajala in the background there. What's War Machine doing? Is War Machine going to gain a point off Pajala? Pajala's too busy doing donuts. You're going to lose your point, mate. You've just lost your point, mate. Pajala, mate, what you doing? War Machine crosses the line, takes P9 from Hendo. Hendo had enough penalties to drop him down to P10, so War Machine takes up 2 points from that. And we're going to see what Pajala can do. See if he actually still gains a solitary point after the donuts. No, he's going to come back for more donuts. Unfortunately, Flunky will cross the line in last P12. No, Rapid Pajala crosses the line. We're going to see. Podium speaks. No podium speaks. I'm going to invite the podium sitters. Urban Growth has left the session though, so that's one podium sitter out. We're going to invite Edmo. I'm going to invite Edmo to the party. Invite to party. I'm going to invite RNG Salty. And I'm going to invite Urban Growth. So it's your top three. Edmo, Urban Growth, RNG Salty. Further down the field we've got Bremo, it's your boy here. Greenie, I'm a Bird, Renga Killer, War Machine and Hendo. Your points paying drivers. Those are the ones who scored points. Good stuff, mate. P3, wonderful stuff there. No penalties either, too.
Surprisingly,
so, great race there. Yeah, you did well, mate. Great stuff. Great stuff. Started P11 too, mate. So you gained like 8 positions too. So
I was so lucky with the virtuals and the safety car. Everything worked out perfect.
The race was chaos, but you know it all ended well. It all ended. At least we got a race in the end there. See if anyone else joins us. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to be joining us, but it is what it is. If no one else joins us, then
we can just have a chat.
So yeah, good. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably not going to stick around for too much longer. We're going to see how long the stream goes for because it's just dependent on how long this broadcast goes for because we've got to wait for everyone to advance and, you know, have the thing count down. But yeah, so that's that. That wraps up Div 3's Season 1. It's been wonderful commentating all this. Congrats again, Salty, on your podium there, mate.
I'd just like to thank It's Your Boy for all the help and on the racing and my dad. Yeah.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Yeah, It's Your Boy, he's good. He only finished P5, but he had a really good race as well. He managed to finish P5, bring home more points for Aston Martin.
Yeah, he was getting close to me at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bremo got too much of a penalty at the end there, but It's Your Boy also had a penalty there, so you avoiding that ultimately paid off massively for you there.
Yeah.
So the gap between Edmo and Urban Growth though was ridiculous though, 14.3 seconds, the biggest margin I've seen in Div 3. So anyway, that's that. That's the end of Div 3. We'll be back next year with more.
Adios.
Thank you once again. Adios.